In today's video, we will have a look at the top 50 IMDb movies. IMDb stands for Internet Movie Database. This is the ranking as per the internet, and it does have a recency bias because movies that are released after the advent of the internet may have a better rating than those which were released earlier. Also, movies that are accessible to more people would tend to have a better rating than an equally good movie, maybe in a language that many people don't speak all over the world. So, it also has a bias towards English movies. So, with all these disclaimers out of the way, let's get into it. We will describe the top 50 IMDb movies and we will describe them in terms of whether I have seen it or not. If I have seen it, I'll probably add a one line review as well. So let's get into it. At number one is the 1994 movie The Shawshank Redemption, which I don't know if it should be the greatest movie of all time, but it certainly is a magnificent movie. And if you're feeling despondent, watch this movie, and then I don't think a movie can be more motivational than The Shawshank Redemption. Number two is arguably the greatest movie of all time, The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola at the age of 29. This movie came out in 1972, and if any movie has stood the test of time, it is this movie. It has been remade in so many different languages, and if there is a country with cinema, it has an adaptation of The Godfather. Number three is the famous superhero movie The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan. And although it has a stellar cast and crew, and of course it has the legendary director Christopher Nolan at the helm, a superhero movie at number three is slightly difficult to accept. However, this should be there because of, if nothing else, then the unforgettable performance of Heath Ledger as the Joker. At number four is The Godfather Part 2, which perhaps is the most successful and most well made sequel in the history of cinema. At number 5 is my personal favorite, 12 Angry Men. This is a 1957 movie which talks about 12 people in a jury and how they arrive at a decision. It's an amazing watch. If you can get your hands on this movie, please do check it out. At number 6 is The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Now, I understand it has a very dedicated fan base, but I did not like any of the Lord of the Rings movies. They are really well made. It's a spectacle to watch, but I just couldn't connect with it. At number 7 is the Steven Spielberg movie Schindler's List. This came out in 1993. Schindler's List is a very difficult movie to watch. I know there are people who have described Schindler's List as a comfort movie because it is directed by Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg makes comfort movies, but it's not comfortable to watch Schindler's List. It could have been more uncomfortable, I guess, but it's a difficult movie to watch, but a very valuable addition to the world of cinema. At number 8 is the cult classic Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino. This is the first entry of a Tarantino movie on the list. This came out in 1994, and as you would see, 1994 is a very significant year for movies because you had Shawshank Redemption at number 1, which was in 1994. Pulp Fiction at number 8 is also 1994. So Pulp Fiction changed the game of movies. So Pulp Fiction by Tarantino. Again, I believe everyone in the world has at least heard of the movie, but if you haven't seen it, please do check it out. This is the movie which is amazing not just in terms of action, but in terms of dialogue. The dialogue is so gripping. At number 9, we have The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I have already made my thoughts clear about the Lord of the Rings franchise, so we will move rapidly on. At number 10 is another one of my favorite movies, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And this is what is called a spaghetti western. That is a western genre movie made by an Italian director, Sergio Leone. It starts Clint Eastwood, and it has the iconic background music, which I don't know if I can play here. But The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is just a treat to watch. It's 3 hours long, but every second of the movie is unforgettable. At number 11 is Forrest Gump, the Robert Zemeckis movie starring Tom Hanks in the lead role. Forrest Gump is perhaps what we mean by comfort food. It's a movie that you can go back and watch again, and there is this heated debate that which is the greatest out of the three movies of 1994. Is it The Shawshank Redemption, is it Pulp Fiction, or is it Forrest Gump? But what is not debatable is Forrest Gump got all the Oscars, and perhaps not in a deserved fashion, but Forrest Gump is a movie that has its place in the history of cinema. It probably isn't as good as the other two movies of 1994, but it's very enjoyable to watch. At number 12, we have the third uh, installment of the Lord of the Rings franchise on this list, although it is the second movie in chronological order. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Again, I don't want to talk about the Lord of the Rings movies and antagonize dedicated fans of the franchise. At number 13 is a personal favorite and the first movie directed by David Fincher on the list, Fight Club, starring Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. Both the actors played an amazing role. So if you have a Hindi adaptation of this, I would like Shah Rukh Khan and Amir Khan to play the two roles. At number 14, we have another Christopher Nolan movie, Inception, which really pushes the boundaries of imagination. I remember watching this movie in the theater, and I remember going in to watch at 9 p.m. and I was afraid that I might fall asleep, but I watched the entire movie sitting at the edge of the seat, and I'm not exaggerating one bit here. At number 15, we have the Star Wars Episode 5. At number 15 is Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, which is a movie I really liked. This is the movie which really shows the power of Darth Vader, who remains my favorite character from the Star Wars universe. At number 16 is The Matrix, which is perhaps one of those movies which has transcended the boundaries of cinema and entered the public lexicon. And it is one of those movies which makes you question reality to the extent that you cease to understand what is the difference between real life and real life. At number 17 is the first Martin Scorsese movie on the list, released in 1990, Goodfellas. Goodfellas is sometimes regarded as the best mafia movie, although I don't know if this is better than Godfather or not. But Goodfellas is one of those movies which is really a treat to watch because of its sharp pace and unexpected turns. You go in to watch Goodfellas, you think you'll see a lot of Robert De Niro, then you see very little of him, and then you see a lot of him. So it's a very engaging watch. At number 18 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, one of those rare movies which won the best actor, best actor in a lead role male, best actor in a lead role female, best motion picture, and best director, and richly deserved. I don't think movies can get made in a better fashion than One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Jack Nicholson in the lead character is unforgettable. At number 19 is the Matthew McConaughey starrer Interstellar, directed once again by Christopher Nolan. This is the third Christopher Nolan movie in the top 20, which goes to show how good he is and how much the internet likes him. Interstellar is a story, as the name suggests, of space travel, and it's one of the most amazing space movies that we have seen. But I don't know why it is ranked higher than 2001: A Space Odyssey, except perhaps the fact that this is more recent. At number 27, again directed by David Fincher, so second David Fincher movie on the top 50 list. This stars Brad Pitt once again, along with Morgan Freeman, and it is one of the most amazing performances, or one of the most amazing thrillers that I've seen. At number 21 is It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart, and again, I'm very happy that a movie from the 40s is in the top 50 list because this lends credibility to the list. However, I believe It's a Wonderful Life is on this list simply because it is accessible to many people and it's a comfort movie for a generation and many generations of viewers. At number 22 is the first non English movie so far on the list, Seven Samurai. directed by the legendary Japanese director Akira Kurosawa. Seven Samurai, of course, is one of those movies which really set the standard for adventure movies, and even modern day movies like Avengers can be traced back to Seven Samurai. At number 23, we have the Anthony Hopkins starrer, The Silence of the Lambs, which is a treat to watch. It has this taut screenplay, and you're always on the edge. At number 24 is the third Steven Spielberg movie on the list, Saving Private Ryan, which again raises the question: are Steven Spielberg movies really comfort food? I don't think so. I remember thinking of Spielberg, you think the first thing is dinosaurs, and you think he'll make a movie you can definitely watch. The first time I tried to watch it, I couldn't watch it in one go. That is how difficult it is. With all the other movies, I was able to watch it in one go despite the gore. But Saving Private Ryan, the first scene at Normandy, is just difficult to watch. Number 25 is City of God, again a movie that I have seen. It's another non English movie. I believe it is the second non English movie on the list. City of God is based in Brazil, if I remember correctly, the city of Rio, if I'm not wrong. But it's a treat to watch. Again, I have nothing bad to say about City of God. It's one of those movies that you just feel fulfilled after having watched it. You feel like you've achieved something just by watching the movie like that. It's not a difficult watch, by the way. It's very enjoyable to watch, but you just feel a sense of gratification after watching City of God. Speaking of gratification, Life is Beautiful at number 26 is an amazing movie. I think it's directed by Roberto Benigni, and it's a movie about a very serious topic made in a light-hearted manner, and it has a power-packed ending. At number 27 is the Frank Darabont movie, The Green Mile, starring Tom Hanks, released in 1999. I don't know why it is so high in the list, but it is what it is. At number 28 is the remarkably enjoyable movie Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie on the list, also the first James Cameron movie on the list. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of those action movies that has stood the test of time, and you can still watch it and not feel like it has special effects or computer generated imaging that is of a previous era. You just like watching the movie as many times as it is played. At number 29 is one of the most legendary movies of all time, Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. I mean, for people like me, it's strange that the first Star Wars movie is actually titled Episode 4, but it's one of those movies that started one of the greatest franchises the world has ever known. It's an amazing movie. It introduced the world to so many of things that we use in regular everyday English, like Jedi mind tricks. At number 30 is the science fiction movie Back to the Future, released in 1985. Back to the Future is a fun movie, and it kind of set the benchmark for time travel, at least in the world of cinema, only to be broken, I believe, in Avengers Endgame. At number 31, we have Spirited Away, which is an amazing animated movie, Japanese movie, and I think it's the first animated movie on the list, and it basically talks about very serious themes related to materialism, and although it's an animated movie, but it's a serious movie, which again highly recommended. At number 32 is the first movie that I have not seen on the list, The Pianist, directed by Roman Polanski. It's a World War II movie which I have seen parts of, but I have not seen the entire movie, so I will not include it in the list of movies I have seen. At number 33 is Parasite, the Oscar winning Korean movie, which is as close as a movie gets to being flawless. It's perfect. At number 34 is the Hitchcock movie Psycho. Although I don't think Psycho is the best Hitchcock movie, but it is the highest ranked Hitchcock movie on the list, and because it has been seen so many times, it has lost its novelty value. But at the time, it did do some things which were truly path breaking. Like you know, if you are promoting the movie with a certain person, you would expect that person to be there in the movie throughout. That's not the case in Psycho. At number 35 is the action movie Gladiator, directed by Ridley Scott, if I'm not wrong. featuring Russell Crowe in the titular role of Gladiator or the Spaniard. And Gladiator has a tremendously effective performance by both the protagonist Russell Crowe and the antagonist Joaquin Phoenix. At number 36 is the animation movie The Lion King, which every child has seen and everyone can relate to. At number 37 is another movie that I have not seen. This came out in 2023, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This follows the story of Miles Morales. I've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but not Across the Spider-Verse. At number 38 is another Martin Scorsese movie, The Departed, which is a fantastic movie. Another movie which should be made into a Hindi movie with an equally stellar star cast. This is a movie which has Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon, and really shows the acting skills of Matt Damon, because he does manage to hold his own in a star cast featuring legends like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson. At 39 is Whiplash, a 2014 movie which talks about the story of a musician trying to reach the pinnacle of his career and the difficulty he has to go through. Really well made movie. At number 40 is American History X, but this is another difficult movie to watch, but again highly recommended. 41 is Grave of the Fireflies, a Japanese movie which I have not seen. At number 42 is Leon the Professional. If not for the Hindi movie Bichu, I would have really liked this movie. At number 43, The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan again, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. This came out in 2006 and perhaps is the best Christopher Nolan movie I have seen. Only second to Memento, I believe. Memento, strangely, is not on the list. There are so many Christopher Nolan movies on the list, but not Memento. At number 44 is Harakiri, a movie I have not seen. This is a Japanese movie which, again, I have not seen. I should check it out. At 45 is the 2024 movie Dune Part 2, which again has its own legion of dedicated fans, and I have not seen this movie. At 46 is The Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey playing a very important role. At 47 is Humphrey Bogart's Casablanca, which I believe is the second best or the third best romantic movie I've seen in my life. I think the best romantic movie of all time is Sixth Sense, and the second best is City Lights. At 48 is The Intouchables, a 2011 movie which I have not seen. At 49 is Cinema Paradiso, a 1988 probably Italian movie which I have not seen. And at number 50 is a Charlie Chaplin movie, Modern Times, released in 1936. Ironically, Modern Times is released in 1936, but at that time it was modern. So I have seen this movie. I have seen almost all of Charlie Chaplin's movies, which are amazing. Modern Times is a silent movie, and this is a silent movie in the era when talkies had already started. So people had started calling Charlie Chaplin Luddite, but Charlie Chaplin said that the tramp character transcends boundaries. If the tramp starts speaking in English, then he alienates the non-English speaking cinema going audience, which is also a nice segue into what I want to talk about. The IMDb list is largely ignoring the population that enjoys watching movies that are not in English. You don't have a Godard movie on the list. You don't have a Truffaut movie on the list. You don't have a Bergman movie on the list. You don't have a Fellini movie on the list. So it does not really cater to the wide swath of cinema lovers. But of course, this is the internet, and I respect the internet's wishes. So this was my take on the top 50 IMDb movies, 43 of which I have seen, 7 I have not. Thank you for watching this video.